Alright, welcome back to Plastic Models by Regular Dude, and here is the final reveal of the Eduard Bf109E4 Profi Pack Edition. I have finally finished it. So, this is it. I went with Franz von Vera's markings because I find the whole story about him and his escapades to escape, I found that very interesting. I thought, you know, I'm going to build this plane. I like to try to try and build something that has a little bit of a backstory if possible. And this is definitely one of those cases. The kit itself, I have no complaints at all about this kit. It went together really well. And one thing that I would like to point out, I'd read some reviews and people had trouble with the cowlings and stuff like that because you can't build the full engine and have it displayed with open cowlings. And people had problems fitting the cowlings. I didn't have that problem, and I just really focused on the instructions. And as far as the engine goes, if you're mounting it without, with the cowlings closed, you practically leave almost all the parts off of the engine. You just have the exhaust and a few, you know, just like the basic structure, the block of the engine in there. Otherwise, this thing won't close up. Same goes with the guns. Is you don't put any of the guns in there other than the barrels. It's like just a bridge piece with two barrels that glues on the inside of this. So that's the thing. You really got to pay attention to that. Other than that, I haven't really heard too many problems with people having with the assembly, and you know, my experience was likewise. It fit together perfectly. The photo etch was fine. You know, if you shake a whole lot, photo etch can be a real chore. But I was able to use the stuff that was applicable. The photo etch seat belts, which hopefully you can see in there, are really nice. Photo etch for seat belts is kind of weird to me, and it's they're kind of hard to work with to get them to drape properly in the seat, but you know, with a little bit of work it can be made. You know, you can make it happen. The instrument panel, don't know if you can see that very well in there, but that went together nicely. I like the fact that it's pre-painted photo etch. It's kind of cheating, I guess, according to some people, but it looks really nice. And you know, then there was some other photo etch parts on the insides of the instrument side panels, and those all worked really well. Other photo etch, let's see, these control rods for the rudder. This little teeny tiny thing right here that holds the canopy open. That was tricky getting in place, but I was successful. I persevered. But anyway, this is it, the Bf109E4. Now, one thing, if I had it to do over again, in going off of some of the photographs and artwork on this particular plane, is the RLM 76 in the front. I would have went just a little bit lighter for a little bit more contrast, because that's one of the things that's always been a point of contention going off of black and white photographs of this particular aircraft. Is some have said that this was white, others said it was just a lighter RLM 76, but it's obvious at some point that the front cowling, the front end of the plane, had been replaced with something lighter. There's no mottling on there like there is very faintly on the rest of the the RLM 76 portions. So that I would have done differently, and if I ever build one again, I will. I'll paint that a little bit lighter. As far as the stuff I use for it, I used a mix of Vallejo and Tamiya paints. The upper surfaces are Tamiya paints, and I mixed those myself. Using a handy color chart I found online. All the kit decals fine. I used for the washes, I used the Ultimate Modeling Products Dark Dirt clay wash, and that's opened up a whole lot of opportunities as far as aircraft go. I've always had trouble weathering aircraft, and that definitely helps. So really good product. If you haven't tried it, you might give it a shot. Here's the underside. Let's see if I can do it without breaking anything off. There's the underside. Add a little bit of oil staining here and there, some streaks. Again, no problems. The decals worked out really nicely. They're really thin, so they don't really cause any trouble as far as weathering and that. Another thing I did differently is I used artist chalks to do the exhaust stain. That is something I have never done before, so I gave that a shot, and I really like the way that worked out. So aircraft, no longer a headache for me. Did a little bit of hairspray technique here on the where crew and the pilot would walk. Chip that up a little bit, also around some of the other access points. Didn't go too crazy with it. First time I ever tried it on, on an aircraft model, but that's it. So anyway, that is the Bf109E4 by Eduard. And I would definitely recommend this kit if you like aircraft, especially if you like the Messerschmitt. It worked out really nice. It builds well, has good detail, and I really liked it. So anyway, that's it. Another project completed. If you have any questions or comments or suggestions, critiques, whatever, please post them in the comments below. And I will see you next time on Plastic Models by a Regular Dude.